See, people don't want to understand that if we really went to the moon, it would be mankind's greatest achievement ever accomplished. Okay? Pertaining to the public record, NASA or America is the only country that ever put a man on the moon. All right? And this was almost 50 years ago. And what I don't understand is true inventions like the car, the train, the plane, the cell phone, the computer. Once something is invented, it is invented because it's real. And when something's real, it is relentlessly perfected. Okay? It's not a standstill. The phone, the car, the plane, the train, the computer have all been relentlessly perfected until they can dang near be perfected no more. Now, there's only one thing in our history that does not follow this chain of command. The Apollo moon missions, where they say we allegedly went to the moon. 50 years ago now, a lot of years have passed with me arguing or debating people about this, and their rebuttal would be lack of interest, too much money, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you would wonder why we don't return to the moon. Why don't we put a structure on the moon? Why aren't companies privatizing a 1 day vacation trip to orbit the moon? At least by now, 50 years later, they landed on it 6 times. And 50 years later, there's not even one private sector offering a 4 or 5 hour or half day trip to orbit the moon, family package or something. Not one structure there. So when you go into this and if you wonder why we haven't been back, there's many reasons. And there are many reasons because they know the people seeking these reasons have been so dumbed down that you can tell them anything. For instance, if you go to Reuters, if you go to Google and type in NASA erased moon tapes, you will get many hits where NASA admits that the moon landing tapes got erased. NASA admits, Reuters. Okay? Now, again, if we landed on the moon, it would be mankind's greatest achievement. Such technology to leave the Earth and travel 500,000 miles, almost 238,000 there and 238,000 back, that would be technology so advanced, so superior, that we could not let it fall into the hands of any other nation. It would be protected in a vault underneath Fort Knox or the Smithsonian or somewhere. But not so. They tell us they accidentally erased them. Okay? And even worse, NASA sold moon landing tapes to a NASA intern for $218. And whoever finds them will be a millionaire. That's what you get if you select one of these. NASA sold, not erased, they sold the moon landing tapes to a NASA intern for $218, comprised of 65 boxes. You tap one of these things, and they'll also tell you whoever finds them will be a millionaire. That's how they mock you. That's how dumbed down you are. That they can say they erased them, then they sold them, then one of their very own scumbag astronauts, Don Pettit, will tell you that they destroyed, not accidentally erased or sold, that they destroyed the technology to return to the moon, and it's a painful process to build back again. Okay, I got this portion from a guy I'm subscribed to, Russian Vids. I hope you don't mind. I love his channel. A real good guy. Now, Don Pettit is going to say, I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is, we destroyed the technology, and it's a painful process to build back again. Now, I'm going to say right now that if we could or did go to the moon 50 years ago, we wouldn't need 50-year-old technology, okay? Because the computers The processors we have today are millions of times more advanced and faster than anything they had in 1969. We would not need one iota of anything they did back then. Okay, but they know you are so dumb, they can mock you to your face and say this garbage.
In space at all. The moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Okay, there you go. How it's unbelievable. What length would I have to go to show you people what these fraudsters are doing? Okay, I make videos about vacuums because we wouldn't be here if the earth were surrounded, if the earth was within and surrounded by an infinite, expanding vacuum universe. The earth could never maintain its coating of gas, oxygen, and water vapor around its outside surface and be within an infinite vacuum universe. The gas and oxygen of the earth would immediately fill the available volume of an infinite vacuum. We are told that vacuums don't suck to confuse you, to contradict themselves, so that you never equate the truth. You never equate Boyle's gas law or Avogadro's gas law or the second law of thermodynamics entropy. That gas, when not contained, when dispersing, will travel in all directions at high velocity until it hits something. Okay, they teach that we live in an open system, that our atmosphere is directly next to an infinite vacuum. There is no barrier. Okay, so gas and oxygen would keep flowing in the same vector at high velocity and would hit the vacuum of outer space and keep going. The vacuum of outer space would suck all the gas and oxygen off the earth, just like I showed you in the previous video, where a guy eliminates the air with fire out of a glass jar and sticks it on the guy's back, and you see the skin get sucked into the jar. Okay, these people are liars, and they don't care. They do not care. They know that they have produced a population on the earth of artificial intelligence. That's what artificial intelligence is. That's what most of you people represent. Because you have been dumbed down and programmed to instantaneously believe everything they say without question. No review of personal logic, because your personal logic has been drilled out of you. Okay? We are taught to 100% trust these people. If they have a white lab coat, if they're our teachers, then we must believe everything they say on an instantaneous manner. The only thing we are to do is do our best to memorize everything they say so that you can regurgitate it for a test or to debate someone like me and others like me. Okay? You can go to Google and type in, per a Fox News article, science wants to move the Earth, the Sun, and all the planets or solar system. They want to move the Earth, the Sun, and the solar system to another region in outer space to avoid killer asteroids. And people will defend that. That is so ridiculous and absurd and fantastical. But they can get away with it because they have an audience who adores and worships them and spends thousands of dollars to go to college to be like them. Do you understand how absurd it is? All these contradictions that NASA puts out. This guy's saying they destroyed it and it's a painful process to build back again. I'm saying he's a liar. And if we could go to the moon, if there was some technology that could take us to a moon that you could land on, we wouldn't need anything from 50 years ago, because the technology we have today, just in computer processing, being a million times more advanced than anything they had back then, would not require anything from then. We could do it today. Just like they did it today in 1969. On that day, they did it over time. Okay? Then they're going to tell you they erased the tapes. Then they sold them. How can you erase the tapes and then sell them to a NASA intern? And then this guy pops around the corner saying they destroyed it. And it's a painful process to build back again. I'll tell you, because they know you're foolish. They can say whatever they want. They know this. And we never went to the moon. Okay? You cannot get any forward momentum in a vacuum. There's nothing to push off of. Okay? Now, my sister hit me with Newton's laws of motions. Okay, you can go with that. But those laws only apply to an oxygen-rich environment on the Earth. Newton didn't know what they were going to say outer space was 500 years later. You understand? The laws of motion, his laws don't apply in a vacuum. If they did, you could get a vacuum and stick the insect to fly in there. When you take all the oxygen out, it could still fly, but it can't. That can be proven. You can put a little mini fan, electrical fan with a feather tied to it, turn it on, and the fan blades will move the feather because it's pushing the air. But in a vacuum, once you remove all the air, the blades will turn due to the electricity, but the feather will never move because there's no air to push to move it. An alarm clock, you can wind it up and have it ringing and you can hear it, but then in a vacuum, as you suck all the air out, you cannot hear that sound anymore because Newton's laws do not apply in a vacuum. There's no air for the sound wave to travel on. There's no medium. Okay, so a rocket, the reason why they don't go straight up, the reason why they blast off and they do this and go back down is because they can't go to outer space. There is nothing for the thrust coming out of the fuselage or rear of the rocket to push off. You know why a bird can fly? It's because they flap their wings on the air and they get lift from the air. It's not an exercise they do and then just float away. Air is required. So we are lied to on so many fronts. And you try to tell someone this, and there's many reasons why it won't compute. Because their character has been drilled out of them, their IQ is next to nothing, or they're too highly invested in this garbage to admit they spent thousands of dollars on a bunch of garbage in college. I want the truth no matter what it is. The truth can always be demonstrated. It does not require one theory, multiple excuses. It can always be demonstrated because it is the truth. It can be verified. Okay, all we get are excuses and garbage. Now, as I said, if we went to the moon, that would be mankind's greatest achievement. Mankind's second achievement would be what they call the ISS, International Space Station, which they say took over 18 years to construct, going up 2 pieces at a time. But not one time did they affix any cameras to record for posterity or educational purposes. If you want to see this thing, this monstrosity being constructed, you will see nothing in real time. This is what you'll see. An orbital wonder, they say. Do you know what this is? This is animation. Okay? You can go to YouTube or Google or whatever search engine you use and type in construction of the ISS, and this is what you will always get, even at nasa.gov. CGI animation. So you want to tell me mankind's alleged second greatest achievement, the ISS, that's orbiting the Earth 10 times faster than a bullet at 17,500 miles an hour? I say a bullet because a mediocre bullet travels at 1,000 plus miles an hour. So 17,500 miles an hour that this thing's supposed to be traveling around the Earth or falling around the Earth is at least 10 times faster than a bullet. And they will tell you at NASA.gov or Wikipedia it took over 18 years to construct this garbage. And nowhere do they have real-time footage of any time lapse of this thing being constructed. One guy sent me a video where they showed the space shuttle with a big arm out of its top bay door. Then it would go to some guys standing at computer terminals, then back to the arm, back to the guys at the computer, back to the arm moving and doing a up and down move, and that was his evidence. Okay, if there really were an ISS up there, they would have 100% affixed the camera to at least one of the parts to record it being put together. And then all of it over the 18 years would be pieced together for your animation of the ISS being constructed. They don't have it because it's another lie. The ISS is a highly classified, high-altitude drone that's very, very advanced, mocked up to look like the ISS. Okay? And I know that's going to spin your head, but, you know, the stuff that should be spinning your head is the stuff I just showed you in this video. The technology they say we have, we never see. It's just so absurd. I can't believe it. I can feel a headache coming on because it raises my blood pressure. The lies of these people. And the people out there in the peanut gallery that want to keep defending these liars. Vacuums suck, and the reason why they say they don't, because then you could probably, maybe, over time, figure out that there's no way that an Earth of any dimension could be covered in gas and oxygen, smack dab in the middle, surrounded by and within an infinite vacuum universe. It would strip all the air off the Earth. The air and the gas would immediately flow into an infinite vacuum universe available volume. The two could not maintain themselves unless there was a barrier in between the gas and the oxygen in the vacuum. So we are lied to on a stage so great that I doubt, no matter what comes out or how long I make videos or thousands of other people way popular than me making videos, the truth will never be admitted. And even if it was, most people wouldn't believe it anyway. We went to the moon 50 years ago, but the chain of command is broken when they invented the car, the train, the plane, the computer, and the cell phone. Everything we invented is relentlessly perfected and advanced, all except Apollo. Dead in the water, 1969 to 1973, 73 to 2021, dead in the water. Okay, that's not what happens with real technology or advancement or invention. It is relentlessly perfected. All except Apollo. First they tell you they accidentally erased the tapes, then they accidentally somehow unerased them and then sold them to a NASA intern. And then, according to Don Pettit, they got them back from the intern and then somehow destroyed them, and it's a painful process to build back again. Don't you people see what's going on? Can't you wake up and understand and realize the truth? I just can't get over it. I can't believe how dumbed down we've all become to instantaneously believe these liars. Well, I'm going to go watch a movie. You go to NASA.gov and praise them some more.